Hello, this is Pat Barry from Barry's Boxing, and we're here today. We got David Alaverdin with us. He's a fighter that boxes from Israel. So he's come many miles to do this interview. So we're gonna go ahead and hopefully ask him some interesting questions that may shed some light on his career and what his standing is now. David, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. So tell us, how'd you get started in the boxing, or how old were you?
I started when I was 8. My dad forced me to box because he was afraid I'm gonna get bullied. My family came from the ex-Soviet Union. My mom is Jewish, so we could move to Israel at that time. I was born in Israel already, but my parents they came from Belarus, and my dad from Armenia. So at that time, it was a bit weird time in Israel, and my brother was getting into the fights, and he got my dad's genetics, so he's a bit bigger than me. And my dad was afraid that I'm gonna get bullied at school because I was small like my mother.
Right.
So it was like, oh, you gotta get to boxing, and he kind of forced me to do it, even though I didn't like it too much. But I was pretty gifted, so I did pretty good.
You just kind of fell into it. What was it?
Yeah.
Was it like a boys' club that in the neighborhood, or?
No, most gyms in Israel, at least in the north and the south side, they're in the bomb shelters.
In the bomb shelters.
Yeah,
wow,
so most of the gyms were in bomb shelters because it's still a poor man's sport, a minority sport, everywhere, not just in the United States.
Right.
So it was the same in Israel. So I kind of trained there. I was on and off because I never really liked it, but I was forced to do it. So I was boxing for a year, then I quit for a year, come back for a year. So it was on and off for a pretty long time.
So it wasn't your first choice.
No, not at all. My choice was just to play games with my friends. That's what I cared about. I didn't care much for boxing at that time. And I only got serious about it when I was 18.
18.
18, yeah. So I was a senior already.
Okay. Now, had you had any amateur bouts leading up to there, or?
Yeah, I had only in Israel. I never had international experience until I was 19.
Uh-huh.
But I had maybe like 12, 13 bouts as
Smokers,
as a small kid in Israel. I did win the nationals as a kid, but it's only based of natural gift, and I was pretty gifted as a kid. But after that, when I got back to Israel, back to the seniors and to boxing, I didn't win the nationals. I lost. Took me a year to actually win the nationals after that. And then when I started competing internationally, it was a loss after loss because I didn't have the experience of the youth level and juniors level. I was just losing constantly for probably like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And when was it that the bug actually bit you?
My win started at 2000, I think 15.
Yeah.
2015, so it was 3 years of constant losing.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a win here and win there,
Yeah.
but it's not much. Mostly were losses at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you just kept coming back, and
I did want to quit a few times during that time because I was like,
great.
Because it's pretty much the same as here. If you don't win or you're not sponsored, you got to pay for your own flights.
Right.
I was in the military at the time as an exceptional athlete, so it's pretty much like school. You come in the morning, you do all your chores in your base, and then they send you back after a few hours. You can go back home, drive back home, and train.
Uh-huh.
So that's the perks of being an athlete in the army, so you don't have to stay in base. And since Israel is a pretty small country, you can drive just a few hours to your gym and then to your base and back.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't too bad. Yeah, and so I wanted to quit many times during that losses period because my parents, who are not rich parents, they had to pay for my flights
Right.
to all these tournaments, training camps. But my dad, he pushed me a lot. I'm very thankful to him. He didn't want me to give up. He didn't care about spending his hard-earned money, and thanks to him, I'm here.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Had your dad boxed?
just a little bit,
Yeah.
but not. He didn't really compete, just for himself.
Okay, so now you're 19. You're in the military.
Yes.
You're boxing,
Yep.
and now things start turning a little bit for you.
Yeah, I was 21 or 22 when I only started winning. So it was my last year in the military, and then the wins are starting to come. Started winning some big tournaments. I got bronze in the Europeans. I started to get salary. I started flying for free to all these tournaments and training camps. So
You are now on the national team.
yes,
Okay.
yes, on the national team, and everything is kind of paid for. So I just kept on doing. I never thought I'm gonna be here in the States. I never thought it just gonna turn out how it did. It's still kind of still the start for me, but I never thought I would be at the spot I am now. It's not that I envisioned it; just kept on rolling. One thing
Okay.
after another. I just kept on training, kept showing up, and things are kind of started happening.
So now you're part of the new breed. We got professionals still in the mix now with the amateurs. They actually look at professional. So now, even though you're a professional, you're still actively involved in the amateur program.
Right. I know that in the U.S., I think it's not legal. People are not doing it. That's from what I heard. I might be wrong, but everywhere else in the world they allow professionals do the amateurs, and since I can't do it,
Take advantage of it.
yeah, exactly. I still am part of the national team. I still get paid back home too. So why not take advantage of it?
So what's your aspiration? What are you looking for out of the amateur program, along with your professional program?
Well, we have the Olympic qualifiers coming up, so I want to do that. And as a terms of my pro career, obviously I want to fight for a title. I want to have a world title, and that will pretty much make me happy.
Now, how many pro fights have you got?
7-0 at the moment.
7-0.
Yeah, 7-0 with one draw.
Very good.
Yeah, and as an amateur, I had probably 120 fights, about 40 losses, I would say.
Wow.
So I had quite a lot of losses since it took me a while to get in a winning streak.
Well, that builds character.
It sure does. I'm no quitter.
You got to love the sport to stay with it.
Not even just sport, just to think the right mentality. Because I started with a lot of guys who, when I was losing, they were winning at that time in our national team. Once they started losing, they all started quitting. While they were quitting, I started winning.
Right.
And I kept on, and I'm the only one who of my age group who was left
Okay.
in the national team. Everybody else has quit a long time ago.
And how old are you now?
I'm 29.
29. You look about 22 still.
I feel 22.
You look great.
No injuries, no problems with my body. I stay healthy. I'm always on a diet, no matter if I'm on vacation or not. I always eat healthy. I don't cut much weight. I stay active.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so now, in the pro ranks, how far away do you see yourself before getting into a title contention?
I'm the flyweight division, flyweight, super flyweight, and that weight division. There's not you don't have to have so many fights to like 20-0, 30-0, like of the heavyweight classes.
Right.
You can have 3-4 good wins, and that's it. You can fight for a title. So it's a bit easier in my weight classes. It's hard to say how far I am. It's really hard to get fights in the United States, so because people don't want to fight. I had so many offers to fight. I said yes to all of them, and people just
Your opponents don't want to show up.
Yeah, they just don't want to fight. People don't want to take risks, and they want a lot of money.
Right.
But nobody's gonna pay them all that money. I'm not somebody who can pay them all that money for a fight.
Right.
So might need to fight somewhere else, not just in the States, but obviously train here because this is the mecca of boxing.
Right. And Barry's Boxing is the mecca of the boxing gyms.
I love coming in. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Love having you.
Thank
you. I just want to get back to your pro career again now. So you're 7-0,
Right.
and you've got your next fight scheduled yet or not yet?
April 10th in Westgate in Vegas.
In Vegas,
Yeah.
right here. We'll
here.
get to see you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That would be awesome.
Very good. And will that be set for 8 rounds or?
As of now, it's 8 rounds.
Right.
Yes.
Well, we certainly wish you the best. And,
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope to have you back on the podcast after you win your next bout.
My pleasure.
Yes.
It'll be my pleasure to come
Thank you.
over. You can follow me on Instagram. It's David_Alaverdian, ALAVERDIAN. It's long, but you'll find me.
You're fine.
And just a closing.
Yes, well, this is Barry's Boxing again, and we'd like to sign off and say keep punching, keep your hands up, your chin down, and your butt off the floor. So, with that advisement, we'll catch you next time.